Which podcast platform is best? Well, it's the one that fits your needs the best. That's the one you need. That's the best one, right? But how do you know what you're going to need? Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to wade through those waters here real quick, and hopefully you'll have a much clearer understanding on what you're looking for. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff to consider for all those platforms, and it doesn't just end with price. We are going to go over price, we're going to go over some extra features, and hopefully you'll have a much better idea of what to look for when you start picking a podcast host. So let's get started. First, you have to understand how podcast platforms work. Now, they're all pretty much universal. And if you've already been podcasting, this is going to be old news to you. But think of this, the analogy I like to use is think of a website. A website isn't in your computer. A website is at a website host, kind of like HostGator or Bluehost or GoDaddy, something like that. That's where the website actually exists. The programming and the coding that creates the website is on that server. Now, when you type in the address and you call it up on your computer, then it displays on your computer, but it doesn't live there. It's just being displayed there. So let's take that analogy and shift it to podcasting. It's the podcast host that actually holds the audio. That's where you are going to have a subscription and a business relationship with those guys so you can upload your episodes. From there, they get distributed to all the other podcast aggregators like Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Libsyn, all the places where you would go to listen to podcasts or where you would get, say, a podcast player from. That would pull the audio over so you could listen, say, on your phone or on your computer, wherever you're going to be listening to podcasts. But the podcast doesn't live at Spotify. The podcast doesn't live at Apple. That's the big point to be made. So once you know that, then you can approach this differently. So the first off is, depending on how you want to play this, how many connections do you want? Well, first of all, the phrase is, if you win Apple, you've won. Okay? You want to get your podcast over to the Apple listings. So at least they have them there. Spotify, however, is making a big charge. And they're really trying to get up there. Right now, Apple's still in charge, but Spotify is growing. And you know who's really starting to enter then into the entire podcast realm? YouTube. They really want to nail this because they know the power of video with a podcast is even more powerful. So you're going to see a huge battle coming up in the next few years trying to see who is king of the hill. One of the very first things you look for at a podcast host is the recording and editing. Many of them have their own recording system for you, so you don't even need to get any kind of software. And it's very intuitive, very easy to use. Some of them even are able to take your audio, transcribe it, and then you go in as if it were a Word document and you cut the words and that modifies your audio. That's how some of them are working now. Is that something that's beneficial to you? I know a lot of people who don't have the knack for audio editing really like it. Are the results perfect? Well, I'll be honest with you. I get better results editing audio than I would by editing text. I'll just tell you. I've also got 25 years of experience doing it too. So take that for what it's worth with a grain of salt, okay? If it's going to help you, I say do it. Maybe with some experience you want to switch over. Maybe you want to stick with it for forever. But the key point is, if they don't offer it, you're not going to have it. Is that a concern? Then be sure to stick with the ones that offer an editing package. Another big component is promoting and marketing. The first step of which is many of them, and this is almost table stakes at this point. Some of them don't offer this. The vast majority of them do. They will offer you space to build a podcast website for your show. They have that all in their servers. You just upload your graphic, you upload your episodes as they come, you give them the descriptions, and you literally have the mypodcastwebsite.com in your hand. So there you go. Those are two biggies that you really should watch out for. Make sure they have those as the basis of their existence. Now, some of these other features coming up in just a moment, when you start adding on, the price could go up. So now it becomes critical. which ones do you absolutely need, which ones would you really like to have, and which ones would be fun to have but you could live without. We'll go over those in just a second. This is what we do here at this channel, by the way, whether it's YouTube or podcasting or your blog. Plus, we've got a secret sauce coming up that we're going to be adding here in the very near future. This is the stuff that we go over, from lighting to editing to cameras to microphones, you name it. This is the place to start your business podcast or YouTube channel or blog. Be sure to like and subscribe. You don't want to miss any of this stuff. Hopefully, we get you up and running faster, more efficiently, and save you some money in the process. One of the other features that many of these places are now offering is a way to clean up your audio. And I don't mean editing. If there is background noise, or maybe an air conditioner running in the background, or truck noise or something like that, they've got new audio processing software that can help scrub that out and do very little to no damage to the audio itself. Face it, if your voice is at this frequency and the truck is at this frequency, there's a little bit of an overlap right here. If you're taking out this, you're taking out some of it right here too. There are new algorithms that they're coming up with that will help clean up this stuff and leave this as much as possible, so your audio still sounds pristine, clean, and you'd be surprised. There are plugins that I've got for my audio setup, but there are plugins that you can buy separately, and as you dial it up, the dogs, the trucks, the wind noise, the birds chirping all go away, and it sounds like two people talking over a table, and they've been sitting outside the whole time. It's pretty amazing stuff. Another key element, especially when they're making this one of the features of the podcasting host, is analytics. What type of numbers are you getting? Now, here's the most important thing to your analytics. It's not the numbers. It's if you can read the numbers. That's the most important thing. Yes, numbers are numbers are numbers, and you can probably come up with the information that you need. But if you can't understand what you're looking at, what good is it? Some companies do a really good job, at least in my eyes, okay? I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I can figure a bunch of stuff out. But if I can't figure out how you're trying to present my own data to me, I'm not sticking around. So take a look at their analytics, and especially take a look at their analytics reports. Does it serve you? Does it help you make the decisions you need to make? That's the big thing about analytics. And everybody wants to know about monetization. How do I make money at my podcast? Well, there are several different ways to do it. There are many that you are in charge of. Unfortunately, they're going to be harder work if you've got a very small audience. There are some things that you are not in charge of, but you can sign up for. For example, the podcast host is probably out getting advertisers. And if you want to sign up and have a random ad pop up in your podcast, if you've got the distribution, if you've got the listenership, that would be a great way to immediately start off with some type of revenue to monetize. And then, of course, there's some really side-related stuff like swag. Do you want to get like sweatshirts and coffee mugs and stuff like that with your logo on it or whatever it is? If you've got a decent enough following, you're obviously going to sell a hoodie or two or a coffee mug or something like that. So that would be something to look into. Another way to do it is with subscriber-only content, that you've got some extra, maybe behind-the-scenes stuff, like when you were recording, or maybe there's some stuff that you just didn't have time for. You had to cut it, and it's left on the cutting room floor, if I may use a flashback term. Nothing's left on the floor anymore. It's all digital. But maybe that extra little piece of interview you've put in a special membership-only area. And you do that all the time. You do recordings for 60 minutes, but it's only a 30-minute podcast. There's half of your stuff that got left behind. That would be a great opportunity for some subscriber or behind-the-scenes content that you can charge for to have access to. And finally, and this is one that's becoming more and more popular, very simple, transcripts. Google, any search engine, cannot scan audio to get you the best SEO results. All the SEO results on your podcast is going to be a result of the description and the transcript, and how to highlight that and showcase it in such a way that Google and all the search engines find it, scan it, and go, oh, okay, this is relevant. I need to show this as a result. Little stuff like that. Do they provide a transcript service, or is it extra, or do you have to pay for it? Something like that. Just keep that in mind as you're evaluating your hosts. So throughout this entire process with all this audio, if you want to be editing it yourself instead of on the site, I have a guide for you. It's a free guide for free software. These are free audio editing software that you can choose from. I've got a list for Mac and PC, whatever it is whatever platform you're using, there's free software for both. So download the list. There's a link in the description. Click on it and get your copy of the free audio editing software guide right now. I'm Nick Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.